cuz we back at it. We back at it. This episode seven.
Seven, seven,
Seven. There we
seven,
go.
going strong.
Going strong. Seven is a lucky number, so man, for us to have a guest on number seven, you know
Part-
this is gonna be some heat today.
Yep.
So, without further ado, I'm Dwayne.
I am Sam, and we have a special guest with us tonight, my friend Rodney.
Hello, hello, hello.
There we go, man. I appreciate you, Rodney, for coming on, man. And we're not gonna prolong you any longer, man. Can you just tell the story a little bit more about you and your story dealing with diabetes?
Before he tell his story, I do want to let y'all know that Rodney is technically my twin, y'all. Me and Rodney both have type 1 diabetes. Not only do we have type 1 diabetes, we both became dialysis patients on the exact same day, the same year. It's so crazy.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah, y'all 20 for real.
Well, we should also add about the diabetic retinopathy also.
I didn't know you had that too.
Yeah,
Dang,
that's what I said. We damn near had it the same.
that's crazy.
Wow.
It's my doppelganger, just the male
Yeah.
version.
Yeah, male version. Yep.
Oh yeah, also too background. We went to the same high school together, but Rodney is a year older than I am.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, Rodney, don't keep us waiting, Rodney. I'm anxious to hear this story, man.
So where y'all want me to start from when I first got diagnosed with diabetes or
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay. So it started I wanna say it started in middle school. No, fifth grade. Fifth grade it started. Um I had kinda got sick and I went to the doctor. They gave me some medicine. I guess it was like some type of steroid. And steroids make you pee and all that shit. So I took it and I was given an issue with my teacher because he was like, I couldn't go to the restroom at times I needed to go. And the medicine would make me go faster than normal. So I had to get a note from my mama. So she gave me a note, gave my teacher, and it was like I took the medicine. I'm always tired. So in the middle of the night, I'm getting up to pee like 6 or 7 times. And so one day, I guess I had my shirt off at home, and my mama saw, I guess, my bones because I lost so much weight. Go to the doctor. Um, Turns out they couldn't get a reading on my sugar, so they was like, "Yes, he's type 1 diabetic." So after we go to the doctor, they rush us to they tell the hospital that we're on our way, so we had to go pick up my sister and head that way. And so got to one part of the ER, they checked it, they still couldn't get a reading. So they gave me they gave me something, and I guess they checked my sugar again at another machine. Still couldn't get a reading on it. So it was another machine I had to go to. I gave him a blood sugar. I mean, I gave them some blood. They tested it. I had to go to the restroom again. And
Mm.
so come back, my mom trying to clean up her face because I could tell she was crying. Doctor finally got a reading. They said my sugar was at 786,
Ooh,
7 times the normal limit.
ooh.
And this whole time, is still not registering to me because I'm a kid. So all this is just happening very quickly. This all happened in a matter of 2 hours.
Mm.
And so, mind you, that day, it was the day before Thanksgiving. So I'm in the hospital. They admitted me. I have about 6 wires coming from me, and then they have the IV, and they trying to get my sugar down, but it takes all of 7 hours for it to come down.
Mm.
At that point, I'm starting to cramp, but they have to flush my IV some more so I stop cramping because I'm peeing damn near everything out of my body. And not to mention, that morning I had McDonald's, and I had the McGriddles, which is sugar, and then I had orange juice and the hash brown. So, that had to come out of my system.
Yeah.
Then I was in the hospital for maybe, I want to say, 5 or 6 days. And mind you, this the day before Thanksgiving.
Yeesh.
I wasn't able to eat none of that.
Mm,
I was getting a handful here, handful of this, handful of that. I was in that thing starving. But they were giving me 3 meals and 2 snacks or 3 snacks or something like that. So I wasn't tripping. I was eating every 2 hours, seemed like. Then started going to school. I mean, I was on the shots, so I had two different insulins. I had a fast acting and a long lasting.
mhm,
And I want to say I had to take it every 12 hours, so every time I ate. So no matter what day it was, I would have to eat maybe at 6 a.m. and then at 6 p.m. My schedule was strict. I couldn't avoid it. So, that was the issue. But, once you ate and you had a lot of carbs, you fall asleep. You fall into a deep, deep sleep. It was hard for you to wake up. I
mm.
know at the beginning, you get yelled at like your parents talking about, get up. You're not supposed to be sleeping. I'm like, it's kind of hard because that food makes you sleepy, and then the insulin is also. You already know it's crazy.
Mhm.
So that was that whole thing. It was like I had to do that for a year and a half before I ended up getting on the insulin pump, which that was a whole debacle. Having to figure out which insulin pump I wanted. All these other ones was big and bulky, and then the one I finally went with was an Animus 1250R, something like that. The one that actually had the line attached to the pump until you had a patch on your skin and stuff like that. It was just
Mhm.
I was I was proud, but then again I can't explain this. Proud that you have it, but you didn't want to end up with all the questions that everybody had.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like that. So whenever that happened, it was just like I was kind of. I want to probably say the beginning stages of depression, but it was at that point to where it was like you have to bolus insulin and all that. Stop bolusing, eating whatever I wanted, sneaking snacks and whatever. But it was just like because you couldn't have it, it was something that you was always gonna want, like
Mhm.
candy and all that. Because now I really don't even eat sweets unless it's an emergency.
Mhm.
But back then, fruit snacks was my best friend.
Oh yeah.
I used to take a box, put them in my room in the nightstand, eating them at night anytime I craved it. But the insulin pump just, I guess, as I got older, it stopped working like it needed to. It wasn't strong enough. So after that, I switched over to Omnipods.
That's what I got.
Yup. And so that's also been a helper because of when they switched me over to Omnipod, they had to switch me to another insulin. It wasn't Novolog, it was Humalog.
Mhm.
And so it actually worked better. So I was in that stress. When you stress, you lose weight and all that. So it was kind of like switching up and down. So when I got on that, it was a whole lot better. But now it seemed like all the damage that I did to myself, it came back to me. So now it's having problems with my eyes. One day I woke up, went to the restroom. You know when you dark room and you flash that light on and flash your eyes, it felt like that. And then when I guess I got used to the lights, I just seen this black spot in my eye.
Mhm.
And I was like, I was rubbing my eye. I'm like, is there something in it? My girl at the time, I told her to look at my eye and see if there's something. She was like, I can't see it. Can't see nothing. So I was like, okay. I called my doctor, made an appointment, ended up going the next day. She had said that it was blood. I was like, blood? What do you mean blood? She's like, your blood vessels in your eye were irregular and one of them leaked.
Mm.
Okay. Again, at this point, I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this. So it was kind of just like, okay, okay, plan for the surgery, got the surgery done. Okay. That was in my right eye. Okay. I want to say the next year, my left eye, same thing happened. But this time, it was worse. It was at the point to where I couldn't see out of my left eye.
Mm.
Literally the same story. That is so crazy.
And then after the surgery, which is the 1 day post surgery, um, found out it was still bleeding.
Mm.
So went back. Well, the doctor said that we'll see if it'll just fix itself. Okay. Whole time I'm having problems. I got pressure. The pressure from I guess my eye was swollen, and then I'm taking medicine that actually helps with swelling, but it's giving me problems in my stomach. It's like the fact that it's making me nauseous. So if I eat something, it makes me sick. So I'm dealing with that. Then finally, the eye drops. That fucking burn.
Mm.
So we dealing with that, and then it's not getting no better. Come to find out, the blood in my eye is creating scar tissue. The scar tissue is separating my retina from my eye. And also, I end up getting scar tissue on my optic nerve.
Mm.
So they finally went back in 6 weeks later, and they did a laser treatment, and they got the scar tissue and removed the scar tissue on my optic nerve. So right now it's like limited visibility in my left side. It's like it's like when you're in the pool, you can see in the water, but it's kind of dim.
Yeah.
So at the top of my eye is black, the bottom of my eye is black. In the middle is like a thin strip I can see. And so whenever they took the bandages off of the surgery, well, when they took I forget what it's called, the eye patch or whatever, they took that off. And I opened my eyes and I just lost it. It was an emotional day.
Yeah.
She said it's better than what it was, but it's like I can see more before the surgery than after the surgery.
Mm.
So I've had three surgeries in 2 years, and then I just got my because you have trauma to the eye, you end up getting I forget what it's called. Uh, it's like when your lens of your eye gets cloudy. I forget what it's called.
Cataract.
Yeah, I had a cataract surgery last year
Mm-hmm.
in my left eye. I have a little bit forming on my right eye, but it said that it's not at an alarming rate that I need it right now. But my doctor said she'll let me know when I need to get it done. But you gotta understand, this I can really see out of. So if I have a patch on it, it's over
Mm-hmm.
with. Be walking around like Stevie Wonder. And so that I thought that was gonna be the end of it. Well, in 2023, I thought that the eye surgery was gonna be the end of it. Then come to find out, uh, blood pressure medicine. Like I had blood pressure, high blood pressure, but it really wasn't at an alarming rate.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day I just started swelling, and I was like, okay, that's strange. Started swelling. I'm taking this medicine, and then one day I had a migraine, and it kind of just like rocked me. Like it felt like somebody just gave me a two piece. And
Mm.
so I'm on the floor, basically in the fetal position, because my head hurting. My daughter came in and she started saying, "Daddy, Daddy," and then everybody was like, "All right, we're going to the hospital." Go to the hospital. My numbers was crazy. They asking me if I took my blood pressure medicine. I was like, "Yeah, I took it with my meal." And they was looking at my numbers. They was saying it was high enough for me to stroke out. I think I went there. My number was like a 140 over 130 or something like that. And my pulse was kind of like 115. And
Mm.
so they were just telling me that, you sure you took your medicine? Like they watched me take it and they was like, we don't see any difference. At that point, I'm having an uncontrollable twitch, like a spasm, like every couple seconds. It took them 8 hours for my blood pressure to drop down in normal range.
Mm.
And that whole time, I'm like twitching. And then they had to give me like I want to say like some Tylenol 3 or something like that. It was either Tylenol 3 or some kind of medicine that made me drowsy. And I'm in there just twitching away. And then they finally gave it through me through the IV. Boy, I was out.
Mm.
I was out. Didn't realize I was asleep. And then found out my medicine wasn't working. And so they changed up my meds to carvedilol and hydralazine. Okay, cool. Working with that, I ended up out of the hospital in 3 days. After that, I'm going to my nephrologist and I'm going through this thing they call chronic kidney disease. After I have chronic kidney disease, I guess I started at a level 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then he put me on a fluid restriction, which was like, okay, I can do this. He talking about 2 liters a day. I'm like, oh, I don't know about that because, like, at breakfast, I drink like 2 bottles of water.
Yeah.
Cause diabetics, they go through some water. I could drink at least 2 gallons of water a day,
Seriously.
but having to stop and do 2 liters a day is like my job is already physical, and I don't want to go over that. So I'm continuing to work, continue to take my medicine, and chronic kidney disease is still kicking my ass. It still continue to go up. The number keep on going up. The doctor scaring me, telling me about dialysis, and I don't want that. So I'm strict when it came to that medicine. I was damn near putting an alarm so I can take it on time, and it just wasn't working. I'm starting to swell. At this point, my normal weight was probably right around 200, 205. At this point, with all the swelling, I'm at 230.
Mm.
Scared to go to sleep because I'm choking in my sleep. Having problems breathing, so I can't lay flat on my back or on my stomach. I have to lay elevated, like
Mhm.
after I had my surgery. So, trying to deal with that, they gave me some water pills, which is furosemide, which what they call it Lasix and all that. At this point, I'm popping them like Skittles, two, four at a time, but they low milligram dosage.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to do that just so I can pee some of the fluid out, but it ain't coming off like I wanted to. At this point, I'm not even peeing the same amount as I would normally do. So it'll be like I wake up, pee, go to work, maybe pee once out my 8 or 10 hour shift, then come home and then I pee, and that'd be the most. When normally you pee about 6 or 8 times a day.
Yeah.
So I'm swollen. Legs so heavy I'm barely lifting them. So I'm a truck driver, so climbing in the trucks was torture,
Okay.
especially about having bad knees too. So I was in pain. Then that last doctor visit, he told me, I think he said, I think it was a Monday or Tuesday. I had an appointment, but I know he's telling me to start going. He told me to make an appointment. He made an appointment with the hospital because that's the hospital he was on to. Go in there, set the appointment, and I'm in his office, and he's telling me, "You're at a stage 4. You're almost at stage 5, and at stage 5 is when you have to be on dialysis." And he just said, "I'm just gonna go ahead and make the appointment, and you're gonna start dialysis." Whole time in his office, I'm breaking down, and he's still trying to talk to me. Nothing is registering me because I heard dialysis,
Yeah.
and I lost it. After the whole appointment, I got to the car. I got to the car, and that was it. It was like I sat there in that car for about an hour and a half before I drove home because he set my appointment for a couple of days later, which was I think a Friday or Thursday, something like that. And started on dialysis was one of the toughest things because I had to go to the hospital. They set me up in the hospital. My dad, he took me there, and then as soon as they called me back to get my catheter, my chest catheter, he took off. So I'm in there by myself, scared,
Yeah.
on this cold table, and I was cool. I was cool. And then when they put that sheet over my face, waterworks came.
Mm.
The nurse had to calm me down because it was just like something new. You scared. You don't know what's gonna happen. It's a life changing, and you're all alone.
Mhm.
So I'm just feeling like, what is my new normal?
Mm,
I didn't know how to feel because I'm still in shock. So it was just, what do I do now? So nurse held my hand and just calmed me down, and they numbed me up from like my neck to my wrist. And when I don't know if I fell asleep or the meds kind of just wore off, and I realized I had something dangling on my chest that was stitched so it wouldn't lift. Then I had all these bandages from, because originally the catheter came out my neck. And then before I left the hospital, they did a tunnel. So it kind of went over my collarbone, but it was underneath my skin
mm,
and came out on my chest. That was painful. Because, like I said, they had it stitched to my chest. And any kind of movement, or if anybody lifted it, it'll tug on it, and it was whew, a little tender.
yeah.
So, so now I have to go to these clinics, and where I'm at now, ooh, this woman gave me hell. Oh, she gave me hell. Oh, the first time I went there, she took 5 kilograms, and I have 4 hour appointments. So she took 5 kilograms, and like this is the first time I'm actually in the clinic. She took away 5, and as soon as I stand up, both legs locked.
Mm-mm.
And then when I tried to stretch them, my feet cramped. Then my hands, and I just broke out sweating. I didn't know what the. And then she gave me a little shot of water. I said, "Bitch, do you think this gonna work? What? Really? A shot of water? Is that really gonna help?" And so I'm just sitting there, just having to take it. I'm sitting down, legs straightened out, feet throwing gang signs, hands locked up, and I'm sitting there like in the cold sweat. Are
and,
you all right?
and for everybody, this is 5 kilograms of blood, right?
Fluid.
Fluid.
5 kilograms of fluid. So 5 kilograms, that's like 10.2 pounds of fluid.
Mm,
Yeah, in 4 hours. And so, and mind you that I have to drive home now. So after the whole cramping session, that was probably about a good 30 minutes. I'm sitting there having to just take the cramps because I can't do nothing else, and so let it pass. And then after they got the standing blood pressure, walk to the scale the best way I can,
mhm,
and find out I'm 10.2 pounds lighter, or should I say 5 kilograms lighter. And after they got the weight, I walked to the car. As soon as I sat down in the car, both thighs cramped up again.
come on, man. Come on, man.
And I'm like, I still have all this fluid because my legs are swollen. Well, my right leg is swollen that you can really see. My left leg was a little swollen, but I'm like, if I got all this fluid in me, why am I cramping? So finally made it home, drank some pickle juice, It took so much out of me. I ain't even eat when I got home, and I just passed out on the floor.
Yeah.
And so that's basically how it was for the past. Well, I want to say the first 2.5 months, and then they finally switched me over to the fistula, which is they basically bind your vein and your artery together. But before that, they have to do an ultrasound on both your arms to see which one has the good blood flow. And so through the ultrasound, they can tell how much blood you're flowing through each vein and all that. So they said my right arm was the good one. Set me up with a surgery or whatever. They basically do it. I guess they make two small incisions on your arm, and I guess they do something to fuse it together, so your artery and your vein together, so you get more blood flow. And then they numb your whole arm so you can't use it.
Mm.
So like this, when your arm falls asleep,
Yeah.
Mhm.
it's a whole lot worse than that. Like at the point you feel like, yeah, I'm moving it, but you can't even wiggle your fingers, no nothing. So it's kind of like slinging your arm, knocking it into stuff. So they just put me in the sleeve. So got home, took some meds, fell asleep with it. Right laying on my chest. Woke up, I was like, oh, I can use my hand again.
Mm.
And after that, I want to say a week later, no, yeah, after they found out I had the fistula, they were trying to find the vein and start it off, but I still have my chest catheter. So it's like, okay, we gonna let it mature some more. So they had to wait 2 weeks, but I still have my chest catheter. So they would use that, and then maybe like 3 weeks they started using it. Still was having trouble because I guess my vein wasn't mature like the others that they've used before, and so it took forever. But I finally got the chest catheter out maybe a month later. And I tell you, I wanted to punch the doctor. Like, no bull. Because he was rushing. And okay, they give you the lidocaine shot or whatever. And I mean, I felt him go. And then he started trying to go straight to my catheter and start pulling out. I said, ow, that hurt. He said, oh, give him some more. I said, yeah, or let it wait till the medicine actually start working.
Yeah.
And then found out that the catheter was in too long. So the only way to pull this catheter out is pulling it. So it's at this point it's actually attached. Like my muscles and stuff was attached to it. And so while he's pulling on the catheter, my body is lifting off the table because it's so attached. I'm glad he shot me 2 extra times because if I could feel it, it was gonna be a problem.
Mm.
But it took him a matter of 30 to 45 minutes to actually get the whole tube out.
Mm.
Whole time my back is coming against the table and I had to turn away because it was right there. So when he's pulling, I ain't want him to kind of hit me in my face because if he's glove slip, yeah, we were throwing some bows that day.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, after that, I had this big old patch band-aid and covered from about right here to down, I guess right below. right above my nipple, and I couldn't take a shower. Oh, that was the part I hated about a catheter. You couldn't take a shower. You couldn't get it wet because a catheter is easy to get infected.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I was having to take baths, whole baths, so I didn't get it wet. And I'm just like,
Come on, man.
I was like, I was like, as soon as he took it out, I was like, yes, I can take a full shower. He said, no, not until it heals. And then the thing about diabetics, we heal slower.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that means probably another 2.5, 3 weeks until it actually heals. It's like,
Yeah.
God. Oh, but when I did, felt like I was taking layers off of my skin.
Mhm.
But then
Wow.
it was, but then whenever you have the fistula, the big old needles that they gotta use every time. They use, well, it started off as I want to say 18 gauge, and then slowly went to a 16, and then it went to a 15. The smaller the gauge, the bigger the needle. So a 15 gauge, no, 16 gauge, I think is what they use for body piercings,
Mm.
like the nose, the nipples, and belly button, and all that. Those are 16 gauge. I'm at a 15, so it's one size bigger, and I gotta have two of them. One for, I guess, pumping in the blood, and one for pumping out the blood. And at this point, I'm getting scar tissue because I guess it's either blood or needles is causing pain, and it's a whole bunch.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to think about peritoneal, thinking about it just because I low key want to travel. But then again, with me having type of this type of dialysis, I have to go in every other day,
Mm-hmm.
which means that if I wanted to take a weekend trip, I couldn't because I do Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. But I did once where I went on a Thursday and a Friday, and then I don't go back till Tuesday. So flew out Saturday, didn't come back till Tuesday morning. So which wasn't bad, but it's still it you got to schedule your life around your appointments, and
Yeah.
you don't really have a life. So at this point I'm just work, home, work, dialysis, then home. So I really don't have a life. I really don't get out. So it's kind of just going back into that little depression mode. But
When they
it's a
when
work down.
you when they told you that you had to be on dialysis, did they give you a choice or they just chose to give you hemo?
They just sent me to the they just sent me to the hospital and told me that you're just gonna be on dialysis. There was no other. They didn't tell me any other ways of doing it. They just asked me, "Do you want to do it at home?" I'm like, "No, I would need a nurse to come or whatever to do it every day or whatever days." So I just knew about just the clinic, and that was it.
And they didn't teach you that you didn't have to do like the Kidney Smart program either? That's
I still
cool.
I still have to get on the list for a transplant.
Where you
Yeah, I
with?
still haven't gone and took the steps to get on the list, which I think I'm gonna have to do it now because whenever I was with my nephrologist, he's a private practice, I guess they would call it. He had his own little clinic, but he's also worked at St. Luke's in the Woodlands, which was where his location was.
Mhm.
And so he made an appointment with St. Luke's. I went there. They did the surgery to get the catheter, and then did the dialysis at the hospital. The first two or three treatments, and then they sent me home to do it at the clinic.
Hmm.
Yeah,
They didn't. They should have better prepared you because when I was told that I had to be put on dialysis, of course I didn't want to do it, but they explained to me like the different ones, which is why I chose peritoneal because I was like, I need to have a life. I can't just. And I also don't want nothing, my veins connected to nothing. I don't want to be poked with no needles all the time. I don't want that. So that's, yeah. And they explained to me like what peritoneal was. And I was like, oh, that's easy. I'll do that. Let's just do that. Simple. But yeah, I wish they would have better educated you.
that's what happened when you're doing stuff on your own. Like I know you probably had your mom with you or something.
No, I was at the doctor by myself. I think I just have like a really good nephrologist. And there was a family friend, like my grandmother's friend, her husband needed to go to this nephrologist and they just referred her to me and I went on my own and she like because I had two different nephrologists. My first one, he was no help at all. Like I think he made me worse than what I was because like you, I was at a two and it's like I went from a two to in 1 month I'm at a four. Like how did that happen that fast? Like
Did they give you Lasix?
no.
That's what messed me up because I was trying to get rid of some fluid. The Lasix put more stress on your kidneys. And so, like I said, I was taking more pills because I was trying to get the fluid off of me. And when you put more stress on your kidneys, it makes your numbers go up. And so that's what kind of messed me up.
Yeah, I think it was for me it was my blood pressure because I was taking amlodipine and amlodipine is not for black people. Black people
Yeah,
should
they
not
just
take
gave it to me
amlodipine.
again.
And it made me swollen, like super, super swollen. So they had
That's
to
one of
take
the
me
side
off of
effects.
that. Yeah, and then they had to put me on losartan. I'm on losartan and clonidine right now.
Ooh, that clonidine something else. Ooh,
I
it gets you right, but shit.
gotta take. I have to take two at night now because I don't. I don't sleep at night, and so they're like, take two so you can go to sleep.
Well, the thing is that okay, I'm on hydrozoline, so they wanted me to take it 3 times a day. So it'd
Hmm.
be like two pills, like two 25 milligram pills, morning, lunch, and dinner. But I only ate like twice a day, so it was like I take it 2 times. And then they gave me carvedilol, which was a 25 milligrams, another one, and then it was something else. It wasn't loaded. It was hydrozoline, carvedilol, and it was something else. But now they trying to put me on amlodipine. I'm like, nah,
Yeah, no,
because
don't let them.
it's like I take it, and it's like if I lay down on my stomach, and maybe for like 4 hours straight, it'll make my neck swell, and I'll be like,
Hmm.
something ain't right. And I started looking at the side effects. I'm like, I'm not taking that shit.
I've had a the in the hospital.
Heart murmur.
No, the doc. I don't know what they're called. The ones that do your ultrasound for your heart, the
What
EKGs or whatever.
cardiologist?
I guess he was. Well, he was a nurse, so I don't know. I guess you could say he's a cardiologist. He said, "Do not take amlodipine. Amlodipine is not for Black people. That's like the one thing that messes all of us up." And I was
Yep.
telling him, "Yeah, because it makes me swollen." He was like, "Yeah, that's one of the side effects. So don't let them put you on it."
Wow. So how do you, with all this that y'all go through with the dialysis and the effects of organs and things failing, how do you keep your mind sharp? Because I'm a type two, and it be days I be still spazzing out with anxiety and different things just because I'm worried about the future and all these other kind of things. Uh, how do you keep your mind from just going off into the deep end?
I'm gonna be honest. It's some days it's harder than others. You get frustrated, but then it's just like, okay, God, we gonna get through this. Just one more day. That's all I have to say. Is like one more day I'm above ground. One more day I have to fight. Just put that in your mind to just say, I know you ain't gonna put your hardest things on me without me going to make it.
Yeah.
So I push through it. I put my head down and I push through. Cause like I said, I'm I'm low key battling depression about it, but it's certain days it get to me more than others.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I can't think about the future. I can just think about what's going on right now
Mm.
and fix. Try to just get through what's going on right now.
Hmm.
So
What
that's
Yeah,
about you,
kind of
Sam?
how it is.
Gotcha.
I was
Sam,
about
what
to say
about you?
yeah, same. I agree with him on that depression. Like some days, I be having weeks where I don't want to do nothing. I just want to lay down, lay in my bed, be under my blanket, and just being here. That's it. I don't want to do nothing. I don't have no energy for nothing. Um, and but it's like I don't know. I have to keep telling myself like you're okay. Like God's got you because He's brought you like this far because you probably wouldn't have been here. Because I was literally dying. That late, my nephrologist was scared for me. She was like, "No, I need you to go to the hospital today." When I went, I was like, "Well, can I just go? Like, give me. I need to mentally prepare before I go in here." But yeah, this is hard. Like, it's really, really tough. It's tough being a diabetic. Number one, because you're already different. You already can't do what everybody else is doing. Like mentally, that is a lot on you. On top of that, you got diabetic retinopathy. You can't see. Your eyes is messing up. Like you're going crazy. I think we both need to be in an insane asylum because this this is tough. Like it is so tough. It's so hard. But all I can say is God is amazing. God has
Yeah.
literally been my strength. He has given me His power. Like having my faith and trusting in Him is literally been the only thing to keep me going. Because
Yeah.
anytime I do find myself getting frustrated, and I do get frustrated with this stuff, because I'm just like, why? Like, why me? Like, why? I was doing so good. Like, why all of a sudden now I gotta feel sad, depressed, and angry, and like all of this stuff? And I just like, God, why? Like, what is it? What did I do this time? Like, what do I need to learn? Like, talk to me. But
Yeah.
I just have to like channel my frustrations. I walk, I listen to music, but I definitely do have days where I'm just like, I just want to be here. I don't want to be bothered. I lock my door because I don't want anybody coming in here knocking on my door, bothering me. I don't want to talk to nobody. I just want to be to myself. That's it.
What advice would you give? And any one of y'all can go first, to someone who recently just got the news that they have to be on dialysis. What advice could you give them?
Ooh, you're gonna grieve it. So like when you first get it, diagnosed with it, you're not gonna know what to do, what to expect. Um, you're gonna be like, well, dang, like why me? Why did this have to happen to me? Like, what do I have to do now? Do I have to change my whole life? Do I have like, am I gonna still be able to do what it is that I'm doing? And like you said earlier, you had to like figure out your new normal. But don't like you're gonna go crazy. I'm not. You're gonna try. You're gonna lose your mind because you're gonna be thinking about this, thinking about what you should be doing here. Am I supposed to be doing this? Do I do this? Do I not do this? Like, what can I do? My like you're gonna think like that your life is over, but it's not. Just make sure that you do have like a really, really, really good support system or somebody that you can talk to or go to. Um, have a journal. Everything that you're feeling, write it down. Um, because I'm an overthinker, so my brain just goes. I'm not gonna lie, I think I might have undiagnosed ADHD. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm about to get tested for that because it would make sense if I do have ADHD, but I'm an overthinker, so my mind just goes. I think stuff all day long, but I always make sure that my outcome is positive. Like I could think everything could be so negative in my head, but I'm always gonna make sure that my outcome of my situation is definitely positive. But if you get diagnosed, just take your time, take it in, um, and just find you just somebody supportive that can like help you through it, to let you know that like you're gonna be okay. Like it's gonna be okay.
What about you, Rodney? What advice could you give someone?
My thing is okay. I would say if you have to grieve, you have to grieve because it's literally life changing. Finding out what your new normal is it's gonna take some time. But me, I had to go through therapy because of at the same time I'm getting diagnosed, I'm hearing that my grandma is she had COVID and she's dealing with that, and also I'm dealing with the fact that I just lost a 8-year relationship with my kid's mother, so everything was happening in threes at that point. And so I was having to go through therapy because I want to say I was always irritated. Everything was irritating me, and I was having a quick temper because of everything was just building up. I'm suppressing my emotions, and so it was like I couldn't quite get everything out because of I didn't want to feel vulnerable. And so that's another thing. It was like fighting emotions, dealing with your new normal or what you think your new normal is going to be. You have to have, and just like Sam, I'm an overthinker. So if I'm quiet, my mind's working a million miles a minute,
Yeah.
trying to figure out what I can do different, what I can do right now. It's a lot of things, but if you need to, grieve. Get some therapy in, get active.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's really what's gonna help you. Being active and taking your mind off of it. Because if your mind stays on it too long, it's gonna fester and it's gonna eat you alive. So it's better to say what's on your mind at that moment, let it go, do something fun, get your mind out of it, just survive. Like this whole time we've been putting ourselves in survival mode. Now it's time to actually live, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So that's how you gotta do. If you gotta grieve, grieve. You gotta talk to somebody, talk to somebody. But get that emotion, that anger, that I guess that spare spot in your mind where you just constantly want to know like why. You didn't try to do everything you could. You can't get mad at something that's out of your control.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Well, you can, but it's not healthy. But just find a way to let it out.
Mm.
It's not gonna
What
be
do you
easy though. It's not gonna be easy.
nah. What do you do? What brings you joy at this day and age? what brings you joy that kind of gives you optimism for the future?
I could tell you spending time with my little girls. That's that brings me joy. Anytime I can see them smile, them come running up to me saying "Daddy," that brings me ultimate joy. So that means if I have to go to the mall every day just so she can get on the carousel and ride the horsey, I don't mind because that gives me joy. So I would say spending time with your loved ones, doing stuff that you normally wouldn't do, just change the pace, change the scenery.
Yeah. What about you, Sam?
For me, doing stuff that I actually like to do. Um, cause I like to draw. I like to paint. Oh, I actually painted this jacket.
Come on now. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hard. It's pull back some. I was blurring it out, but I could
Oh, it's
tell
cause
that's
the background. Yeah. It's
yeah,
Aang from the last Airbender.
Yeah, that's hard.
By
yeah,
the way,
yeah.
guys, I do like Aang. Okay, the last Airbender. That's
Yes,
my
sir.
anime. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I just like just doing stuff that I just love to do that brings me joy. Um, Helping people. Even though I have all of my stuff going on, I love to help other people. Um, yeah, that's really just bring me joy and just planning for the future. Like just knowing that one day this won't always be me. Like this sickness won't always be my story. Like I will have like a better life than this, but for right now, this is what I have, and I'm going to accept it and just handle it the best way that I can until I can get where it is that I know that God has me going.
Amen. Amen. How can I don't know if you want people reaching out to you because we're gonna get a lot of people looking at this episode. Rodney, if somebody say, "Hey, Rodney, I just want to talk to you, man," give you some words of encouragement, or if you can just kind of help guide somebody, if what's the way somebody can contact you, man, just to a little bit learn more about your story, or they just want to chop it up with you.
Well, I don't mind giving out my number. Um, probably my number or I guess Facebook.
Yeah, let's do Facebook. Yeah, we don't know them weirdos with the number. Let's do Facebook. How can they reach you on Facebook?
Rodney Wilkerson.
Okay.
That's my name.
And then I'm gonna make sure I
Oh,
put it in the description and add a little tag for y'all so y'all can follow him on Facebook.
Yeah, man. Man, Rodney, you had me on the edge of my seat this whole time because me and Sammy, we talked about her story, but it's just crazy how similar. And then coming from a man, it just always hit a little different, man. Because you a little bit younger than me, my bro. So it's just like, damn. Like, but you still here, you still positive, even though you're going through what you're going through, bro. It's it takes it takes a lot of courage to do that, man. And I salute you.
appreciate that. Cause I'm gonna tell you right now, it really ain't easy.
Yeah,
It really ain't.
It's just not.
Some days.
you can always tell. You can always tell, like in people's eyes, like they've been through some shit, and I could see it, bro. When you was talking, I was like, this bro been through some stuff, bro. It you can always just tell. I know I can because when I be talking to people. And I just be like, man, they ain't really been through nothing. They'll be complaining about some shit that they ain't been through their valley yet.
It's like the whole time through me telling that story, it's like certain points kind of get you a little emotional, and it's
Mhm.
just like it's still raw.
Yeah,
Like it's like it's happening right yesterday. So it's some things. Oof, some things is gonna take some time, but you manage to get through it. Like I said before, it's one day, one day at a time.
Shit, you an inspiration by being on the Affirmative podcast, man. You're gonna be an inspiration to as many views as we can get on this video, man. So we so we definitely gonna put it out there to make sure everybody know about your story and they can be inspired by it.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. Sammy, you wanna close us out?
Yes, 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 y'all. Okay, so you guys be sure to follow us on Affirmative Podcast. That is on Instagram, TikTok, and also on YouTube. Make sure that you are subscribing to our channel. Please do not forget to like, share, comment, subscribe again. Also, too, for business inquiries, you guys can hit us up on our email at affirmativepodcast@gmail.com if you want us to speak at any events or anything like that. We are also on Spotify, y'all. Please go follow us on Spotify. Add us to your favorite podcast playlist. And what else? I think that's it. Oh, we do have a website. We do got merch. If y'all want to get in a affirmative podcast hoodie or t-shirt, you guys can go to affirmativepodcast.org and y'all can see all the different hoodies and shirts that we have.
Yeah, there y'all have it. We'll see y'all next week.
Peace.